Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yutupada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Śrī Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome to this morning Krishna Conscious program. Today is a very auspicious day. It is the day of the appearance of Lord Varāha, wherein the Lord Kṛṣṇa, he assumed the beautiful form of a boar. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Kṛṣṇa says, Jaram karam chame divyam, evam yoveti tatvata, tyaktva deham punarjanma, mameti so arjuna. So in this verse, Lord Kṛṣṇa says that my birth and activities, my means Krishna's birth and activities are transcendental. Transcendental means we cannot understand it from our own material conception, our own material imagination. When we talk about Lord's incarnation as a boar or Varāha avatar, we should not think of a boar what we have the experience of seeing in this material world. The Lord appeared in a form which is transcendental to the form of the boar which we see in this material world. The form the Lord assumed was so auspicious that when the Lord splashed his hair, the demigods were standing in the queue to take that water and drink as the Charnamrita. Now in the material world, we have the experience of seeing so many boars. Nobody will go and stand near the boar to take the water coming out from the body of the boar and drink it as a Charnamrita. Rather, nobody wants to go near to the boar. But in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that the demigods were having that water which was coming out by splashing the hairs on the body of the Lord's form as a boar, and they drank it as a Charnamrita. When the Lord splashed his hair, wherever the drops from those hair fell on that ground, grass cropped up. Grass started growing, and that grass is known as a kosha grass. And kosha grass is so auspicious that during every yajna, every auspicious ceremony, it is recommended that one should be using kosha grass for the prayer. So today is the appearance day of that transcendental boar, and we should not think of the boar what we have seen in this material world. That's why Krishna says, Janam karam cha me divyam evam yoveti tatvata. That anybody who understands it in reality, ma meiti. Krishna says he will come to my loka, he will be liberated. So it's very important that we understand Lord's position from the eyes of the scripture. One thing we should understand, that Lord is not the portion of this material world. Rather, He is the source of this material world. If we want to define the Lord means somebody who is the Sarva Karana Karanam, who is the cause of all causes, beyond which there is no cause. So when the Lord appears in this material world, we should not think that He has become the part of this material world. He appears in this material world which has been created by Him. Right now I am sitting in a house which is in Abu Dhabi, which is ruled by Sheikh Khalifa. So if suppose a Sheikh Khalifa happens to visit my house, I should not think that now Sheikh Khalifa has become the part of my house. No, he is not the part of my house. Rather, he is much beyond the part of my house, because he is the cause of my house where I am staying in. So that's how we have to understand. We should try to understand the appearance and activities of the Lord. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the second canto, there is a verse which describes the appearance of Lord Varaha. In the third canto again, the detailed descriptions of the appearance of Lord Varaha is given. We will cite one verse from the second canto, chapter 7, 1. Verse number is 1. We will recite the verse, read the translation, read the purport given by Śrīla Prabhupāda, and after that we will have discussion on the pastimes of Lord Varaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashta Prayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakte Bhavati Naishtiki. Brahmo Vacha Yatrodhyata Shititaluddharanaya Bibhrat Kraudim Tanum Sakala Yajyamayim Mananta Antar Maharnava Upagatam Adi Daityam Tam Damstraya Drimiva Vajra Dharo Dadara Yatrodhyata Shititaluddharanaya Bibhrat Traudim Tanum Sakala Yajyamayim Mananta Antar Maharnava Upagatam Adi Daityam Tam Damstrayadrimiva Vajra Dharo Dadara Yatrodhyata Shititaluddharanaya Bibhrat Traudim Tanum Sakala Yajyamayim Mananta Antar Maharnava Upagatam Adi Daityam Tam Damstrayadrimiva Vajra Dharo Dadara. Brahma Vacha, Lord Brahma said, Yatra, at that time when Udhyata attempted, Shiti Tala, the planet Earth, Uddharanaya, for the matter of lifting, Bibhrat, assumed, Kraudim, pastimes, Tanum, form, Sakala, total, Yajya Mayim, all-inclusive sacrifices, Anantaha, the unlimited, Antar, within the universe, Maha Aranave, the great Garbhodaka Ocean, Upagatam, having arrived at, Adi, the first, Daityam, demon, Tam, him, Damstraya, by the tusk, Adrim, the flying mountains, Iva, like, Vajradharaha, the controller of the thunderbolts, Dadara, pierced, Translation: Lord Brahma said, when the unlimitedly powerful Lord assumed the form of a boar as a pastime just to lift the planet Earth, which was drowned in the great ocean of the universe called the Garbhodaka, the first demon, Hiraṇyākṣa, appeared, and the Lord pierced him with his tusk. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupāda ki Jai. Now, can I request anyone devotee to read the purport in English, please?
Prabhuji, can I read it?
Yeah,
Hare
Prabhu,
Krishna.
please read, Prabhu.
Since the beginning of creation, the demons and the demigods or the Vaishnavas are always the two classes of living beings to dominate the planets of the universes. Lord Brahma is the first demigod. She was killed by the hand of the Lord. Therefore, his version is that after being killed by the hand of the Lord, the demon was pierced by the tusk. Śrīla Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura confirms this version. Hare Krishna.
Jai Śrīla Prabhupāda ki Jai.
Yeah.
So, in this verse, Lord Brahma is glorifying incarnation of Lord Kṛṣṇa as Lord Varāha in the form of Varāha. In the Śrīmad Bhagavatam, in the third canto, it is mentioned that Lord Kṛṣṇa manifested himself as a boar 2 times. The first time, Lord appeared as Varāha in the Swayambhava Manu's time, and that form is called Śrī Varāha. And the second time Lord appeared in the time of Chakshusha Manvantara, which is called Rakta Varāha. In the background, we should understand a bit about what is this Manvantara. So Brahmaji, who is the secondary creator of this world, he has a life of 100 years. But 100 years not equal to the human calculation of 100 years. In case of Brahmaji, his day is of 12 hours and his night is also of 12 hours. But what is the duration of those 12 hours according to the human years? In case of Brahmaji's one day, there are 1000 Chaturyugas. Chaturyugas means Satyuga, Treta Yuga, Dvapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. And each of the Yuga has the ages, like Kali Yuga has the age of 432,000 years, Dvapara Yuga 432,000 into 2, Treta Yuga 432,000 into 3, and Satyuga 432,000 into 4. So in one cycle, it is 1,728,000 years. So in one day of Brahma, there are 1,000 such cycles. So the 12 hours of Brahmaji is equal to 4,320,000,000 human years. And each day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. Garbhodaka Prabhu, thank you Prabhu, we have recited the verse. So in each day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. And each Manu has a life of 71 Chaturyugas. And after 12 hours of the daytime, when Brahma goes into the sleep, that period is called Pralaya or partial devastation. And during the time of partial devastation, out of 14 planetary systems, only 3 planetary systems are not dissolved or they are not devastated. But other 11 planetary systems, they go and take the shelter of Garbhodaka Ocean, or it means they go and get drowned into the ocean of devastation, or it's called water of devastation. And when Brahmaji completes his 100 years, then it's a complete devastation. Then that time everything is destroyed and takes the shelter of the devastation water. So when Lord appeared first time as a Śrī Varāha, he appeared during the time of Swayambhuva Manu. In the Śrīmad Bhagavatam, it is given that Brahmaji was ordered by the Lord to create this progeny, to create this material world. And then Brahmaji was thinking about it, and then during the course of time, From his one side Manu came out, another side Shatrupa came out, and Brahmaji ordered Manu that now you create further progeny. And Manu looked around, and Manu said to Brahmaji that, my lord, I cannot follow your order because I don't see a dwelling place for the living entities who will be created. So Brahmaji said, what about the earth? And he said, no, earth is no more here. Earth is still under the water of devastation. And then Brahmaji started thinking that I got busy in the process of creation and I did not think about the dwelling place of the living entities which will be manifested. Then he was wondering what to do. He could not find any solution. Then finally, he surrendered to the Lord and he said, now let the Lord direct us. And as soon as he took the shelter of the Lord, immediately from one of the nostrils of Brahmaji, a very mini creature, which has the form of boar, and the size was tip of the thumb, very small, came out, and it assumed the size of a gigantic boar and got situated in the sky. Or the form was so huge that it was touching the sky. And then it started slashing its tail. It started scattering the clouds with its hooves. And then from there, it dived into the water as if it's going to tear the Garbhodaka Ocean into two parts. And when the Lord dived into the ocean, Garbhodaka Ocean started praying that please save me, please don't kill me, please protect me. That was the force of and then he penetrated the ocean with his hooves, and within no time he reached to the bottom of the ocean where he saw that the earth which was merged into the water of devastation was lying there. And then he picked the earth, he placed it on his tusk and came out of the water, and then after that Manu, he created the progeny. So this is the first incarnation of the Lord Varāha, which is called Śrī Varāha incarnation. Now there is second incarnation of Lord Varāha, which is called Rakta Varāha, which assumed the red color. And in Dashavatara, when we see the form of the Lord as a boar, that boar incarnation is a Rakta Varāha. This Rakta Varāha incarnation occurred in the Chakshusha Manvantara, and today is the appearance day of the Rakta Varāha Deva. In this incarnation, Lord again lifted the earth and killed the Hiranyakashipu. In the first incarnation, he simply lifted the earth, which was in the water of devastation. But he did not kill Hiranyakashipu. That is another pastime which happened during the time of Chakshusha Manvantara, where Lord lifted the earth and killed Hiranyakashipu. As Lord Kṛṣṇa says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharam samsthapnarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Kṛṣṇa says that to protect the devotees and kill the miscreants, I assume the form in each and every yuga. So the Lord appeared as a Rakta Varāha in Chakshusha Manvantara, and during this time he would kill Hiranyakashipu. And as I was saying that in this particular incarnation, Lord protected his devotee, which is Bhūmi-devī, and at the same time killed a demon called Hiranyakashipu. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam it is given that Hiraṇyākṣa was the son of Diti. Diti, along with his 12 sisters, were married to Kashyapa Muni. And all the 12 sisters of Diti had sons, and Diti did not have any son. So one day she had a very strong desire to have a son. She approached her husband that, my dear husband, I want to have a son because all my sisters have got a son. Kashyapa Muni said, no worries, you can have a son, but you will have to wait for some time, because, not for some time. Kashyapa Muni said, just wait for a few seconds, because currently it's a Sandhya Kal. It's the time which is the prayer time, and at the same time it is the time when the Lord Shiva's associates, which are the ghostly spirits, they wander around in the air and look for the worm where they can go and take the shelter. But she was so much infatuated with the desire to have a son that she could not resist, and she insisted, no, I must have the association now. And Kashyapa Muni was forced. And then after Diti's desire was fulfilled, she was lamenting that I did not do the right thing. And that time she feared that Lord Shiva could kill her embryo. And so that time she approaches her husband, Kashyapa Muni, feeling very ashamed. At the same time she was very fearful and prayed to the husband that please do something so that my pregnancy remains intact and my baby doesn't get killed. And she said, Lord Shiva is very auspicious, I know, but the Lord Shiva gets angry also very faster. But then she reminded Kashyapa Muni that Lord Shiva is my brother-in-law because he is the husband of my sister Sati. Lord Shiva is worshipable by all the women, and woman is a creation of the God who are subject to the mercy of everyone, including the hunters who are totally uncivilized. So she said, then what do we speak of Lord Shiva? Given all this, I am sure the Lord Shiva is going to show his mercy upon me. And then Kashyapa Muni said that due to the act of what we have committed, you are going to have 2 sons, which will cause the disturbance in all the 3 worlds. And as soon as Diti conceived those 2 babies, which were known as Hiranyakashipu and Hiraṇyākṣa, all the inauspicious signs started manifesting. There was almost a complete dark all over the 3 universes, and the demigods could not understand that how come suddenly there is a dark everywhere and we are not able to see the moonshine and sunshine. And they approached Brahmaji, and Brahmaji said it is due to these 2 babies which are being carried by Diti in her womb. And demigods wondered that who are these 2 babies who appears to be so inauspicious that there is a dark all over the 3 worlds. And that time Brahmaji narrated one incident which is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and Brahmaji mentions that once 4 Sanat Kumaras, these 4 Sanat Kumaras they are the children of Brahmaji. And Brahmaji says they were wandering in the universe and they happened to approach Vaikuntha and wanted to see the Lord. And they crossed the 6 gates without any obstacle, but on the 7th gate, the 2 doorkeepers, Jaya and Vijaya, stopped them. Because the forms what 4 Kumaras were carrying, those forms were not appropriate to have the audience of the Lord. The 4 Kumaras, although they were very elderly, but they did not grow beyond 4 years in terms of the physical body. Why? Because they decided themselves they will not grow beyond 4 years, because if they grow beyond 4 years in the physical structure, then there is a chance that they can have sexual desire. They may have the desire to get married. They did not want to have even a tinge of desire to have any kind of family relationship. So they decided we will not grow beyond 4 years, and they would remain naked, like a 4 years boy or girl remain naked. People, they don't care. And so the Jaya Vijaya, they stopped them, and 4 Kumaras, they got upset and they said, we are in the Vaikuntha and who is there to stop us? Everybody should be allowed to have the darshan of the Lord. There should not be any discrimination. And they got so much upset and they said, you are the one who has the mentality to discriminate. So you deserve to live in a place where people discriminate between enemy and a friend. And they said, now you should go down to the earth and live there. And in the meanwhile, Lord Krishna learned that so-and-so happened. My servants have offended the Brahmanas, which are the 4 Sanat Kumaras. So immediately rushed to the scene, and there Sanat Kumaras saw the Lord, and they were so amazed to have the darshan of the Lord. And by having the darshan of the Lord, they got purified. And then they realized that they have done a mistake by cursing the 2 servants of the Lord. And then they offered a very beautiful prayer unto the glorification of the Lord. And they had a fear also that they may be cursed by the Lord. But to their surprise, the Lord did not curse them. Rather, Lord said, I approve whatever punishment you have given to my servants. And Lord said, since they are my servants, I am responsible for their action. But please do me a favor that let my servants come back to me soon. And shortly Sanat Kumara disappeared from the scene. But before they disappeared, they left it on Kṛṣṇa that, my Lord, you decide what punishment you want to give to Jain Vijaya and even to us. And we will accept without any hesitation. And after the 4 Kumaras disappeared, Lord spoke to Jain Vijaya and he said to them that I am capable of nullifying the curse which has been given by 4 Kumaras, but I will not do so. You please depart from here and go to the earth. And with that, both Jai and Vijaya fell down from Vaikuntha and they took the shelter of the womb of Diti. Now, since Diti knew that these 2 babies were going to create a disturbance all over the 3 worlds, she did not want to deliver the baby. Rather, she carried the baby for those 2 babies for 100 years in her womb. But at some point, she had to deliver the babies, and as soon as she delivered the babies, all over the 3 worlds, there were disturbances, like there were earthquakes, there were inauspicious planets like Saturn and Mars, they started appearing, there were storms, there were clouds of dust, all over there was darkness, the jackals were crying, the asses were running here and there, dogs were crying, and the clouds started eating the pusses and all. So all the inauspicious signs started manifesting. And in the midst of all these inauspicious omens, both the babies appeared. Kashyapa Muni named the first baby, the elder one, Hiranyakashipu, which means, Hiranya means gold, Kashipu means bad. It means the person who always thinks of the gold, and the bad means the enjoyment with the woman. That's a Hiranyakashipu. And the second one was named as Hiraṇyākṣa, means Hiranya means gold and Aksha means eyes. The person whose eyes is always on the gold. And it's given in the Srimad Bhagavatam that Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyākṣa performed the austerities and both became so powerful that they were practically immortal. That the boon that nobody on the earth can kill them. So here Hiranyakashipu was busy in the sense gratification, and Hiranyākṣa wanted to please his brother by bringing more and more gold to him. At the same time, Hiranyākṣa has a fighting spirit, right? Very strong fighting spirit. So he would wander everywhere and ask everyone, give me battle, but who will fight with Hiranyākṣa? Even the demigods had run away from their heavenly planets. He went even up to the heaven, but in heaven also he couldn't anyone who could fight with him because heaven was totally empty. Then just in a playful mood, he dived into the ocean. He approached Varūṇ and making a fun of him, he said, I beg you, please give me a battle. And Varūṇ said, see, I am very old man. I cannot satisfy your fighting spirit You will not enjoy fighting with an old man. So if you want to have a real fighting, then you should go and fight with Vishnu. Now, Hiraṇyākṣa started wondering where to find Vishnu. He happened to meet Naradev. Naradev informed him that Vishnu is in the ocean. So Hiraṇyākṣa again dived into the ocean, and there he saw very beautiful form of the Lord, which is assumed the form of a boar. And that boar was carrying the earth planet on his tusk. Now, the one thing we have to remember, that when the Lord appeared first time as a boar, as a white boar, in the Swayambhu Manu's time, that time the earth was in the Garbhodaka Ocean, because at the time of devastation, all the planets, they go and take the rest in the Garbhodaka Ocean. But in this particular time, when Lord appeared as a Varāha, the earth had fallen into the Garbhodaka Ocean, not due to the Pralaya, but it fell into the ocean because Hiranyakashipu and Hiraṇyākṣa, they were exploiting the earth too much. And we know that they both were lusty and greedy for the gold, because gold symbolizes the power. In the older times, the greater the amount of gold, the greater is the power with you, or greater the control you have on everyone around you. Even in nowadays, as Prabhupada has mentioned in this purport and even other places also, that in this material world we see the countries who have the oil, they are considered very rich, and many times the oil is called as a black gold. And Prabhupada is saying that even in the modern world we see that we have so many Hiranyakashipus and Hiraṇyākṣas who are exploiting the earth. And no wonder we see that earth is losing its balance and going down to the ocean, or means getting destroyed at any point of time. So, when Lord appeared as a Varāha, that time the earth was in the Garbhodaka Ocean. Why? Because it was being exploited to such an unlimited extent that earth couldn't bear it, lost its balance, and fell into the ocean. So in the second incarnation, when Lord appears as Varāha, he appeared from the ocean. First incarnation, he appeared from the nostril of Brahmaji. In this particular incarnation, he appeared from the water. So when Hiraṇyākṣa saw the Lord carrying the earth on his tusk, Hiraṇyākṣa was very angry. And the first thing he said to the Lord, he said, "O amphibious beast." Amphibious means a jungly janwar. And he said, earth has been given to us, it has been entrusted to us, so you cannot take it with you. And he said, I know that you are being nourished by our enemies, so today I am going to kill you along with our enemies. And although Hiraṇyākṣa used very foul words, he scolded the Lord, he insulted the Lord, but the Lord tolerated all those scoldings, all those insults. Why? Because he was carrying his devotee on his tusk, and she was very fearful. And Lord did not want to cause any distress to his devotee. So the Lord continued to tolerate until he came out of the ocean. And when he came out of the ocean, he placed the earth on the surface of the ocean. And he impregnated the earth with the potency to float on the water. And then he dived into the ocean to have a fight with Hiraṇyākṣa and kill him. And that time the Lord started replying to whatever Hiraṇyākṣa said. Hiraṇyākṣa said that you are the amphibious beast. And Lord said, yes, I am the beast of the jungle. I am the creature of jungle. And I have been searching a creature like you who is no more than a dog. And I am going to kill you. And thereafter the Lord continued the conversation with Hiraṇyākṣa, and Lord challenged him that now you need to throw me out of the water. Now since I had taken the enemy, I have created an enemy, Lord was telling Hiraṇyākṣa that I have made you as my enemy, so I cannot go out and stay anywhere. So I need some place to stay. And I don't see any place outside, so I am in the water. Now you throw me out. So Lord made a fun of Hiraṇyākṣa as well as challenged him. And then the fight started. First the fight started with the mace, and both were engaged in the fighting, and Lord Brahma got worried that the Lord is simply in the playful mood. He reminded the Lord that, Lord, please don't spend time in playing. Now Abhijit Muraj is coming, or I think it's going to be finished soon. So please kill him faster. And while Lord was hearing the prayers of Brahmaji, Hiraṇyākṣa attacked the Lord, and that time the mace slipped from the hand of the Lord. And then the Lord invoked his Sudarshana disc, and thereafter Hiranyakashipu used his trident, and the Lord smashed the trident with his Sudarshana disc. And thereafter Hiranyakashipu struck the Lord with his hard fist on the chest of the Lord, and then it disappeared. Because by then Hiranyakashipu had realized that this is not an animal, this is the Vishnu himself, because no one other than Vishnu will carry Sudarshana disc. And Hiranyakashipu knew that Lord is the greatest mystics. He has got unlimited mystic power. And Hiranyakashipu also had mystic powers. So he thought of fighting with the Lord using with his mystic powers. And with his mystic powers, the sky started pouring the pus, blood, urine, stool. Mountains started discharging weapons, stones, etc. But the Lord used his Sudarshana disc, and within no time he dispelled or destroyed all these mystic creations which were created by Hiranyakashipu. And by now Hiranyakashipu got completely exhausted, and then he came just in front of the Lord, and he tried to embrace the Lord within his arms to crush him. But to his surprise, the Lord was out of his arms. And then he started striking the Lord with his hard fist, left and right. But there was no effect on the Lord. And while Hiranyakashipu was busy in striking the Lord with his fist, the Lord simply slapped very gently Hiranyakashipu on the root of his ear with one of the hoofs. And as soon as Lord touched the root of the ear of Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyakashipu's body started dismantling. Dismantling means the body started wheeling, the eyeballs came out of the socket, and the arms and legs were broken. And within a moment, he died. And after he died, all the demigods, they offered the prayers to the Lord, and then the world got rid of the one demon, Hiranyakashipu. So, anyway, this is the pastimes of the Lord Varāha, Varāha, of killing Hiranyakashipu. So, having heard this pastime in brief, now we should think about some of the lessons what we learn from this beautiful pastime. Now, the very first thing we see in the pastime when Lord appeared as Śrī Varāha, we learn from Brahmaji that whenever we don't find the solution of a problem, then immediately we should take the shelter of Kṛṣṇa. And in this context, Śrīla Prabhupāda has given a very beautiful purport of just 3 lines. And I'll request Garbhodaka Prabhu if we can put up that verse. This is 3.13.17. Yeah, so see, here Brahmaji is thinking, because he did not know how to bring the earth back from the ocean. Brahmaji thought, while I have been engaged in the process of creation, the earth has been inundated by a deluge and has gone down into the depths of the ocean. What can we do who are engaged in this matter of creation? It is best to let the Almighty Lord direct us. What can we do who are engaged in this matter of creation? So here Brahmaji is saying that what can we do who are engaged in the matter of creation? So we should not think it's only Brahmaji who is engaged in the matter of creation. In this material world, we are also engaged in the matter of creation in one way or other way. In this material world, we see so many things around us. So that's all creation coming out from the 5 elements which have been given by the Kṛṣṇa. And if we find ourselves in any situation where we do not find any solution, then as Brahmaji did, we should also do that, take the shelter of Kṛṣṇa, or Brahmaji is saying it is best to let the Almighty Lord direct us. And here in the purport, Śrīla Prabhupāda says, the devotees of the Lord, who are all confidential servitors, are sometimes perplexed in the discharge of their respective duties, but they are never discouraged. So perplexed means, like Arjuna was perplexed, what to do, to fight or not to fight. And he was in a situation where he was totally discouraged to fight. So here Prabhupada is saying that we may be in a situation where we do not know what to do, what not to do, but we should never be discouraged. And rather what we should have, they have full faith in the Lord. We should have full faith in the Lord, because if you have the full faith in the Lord, then the Lord will pave the way for the smooth progress of the devotee's duty. It means that if we have the faith in the Lord, then He will pave the means, रास्ता बनाएंगे हमारे लिए, so that we can progress or we can walk in that path to fulfill whatever is our required duty. So this is the first thing we learn from the pastime. The second thing we learn is that our actions should be in accordance with the time, place and circumstances. It is given in the Bhagavad Gita also by Lord Kṛṣṇa when he is talking about the 3 modes of material nature, and it is given also here in this 3rd canto, this 14th chapter, verse number 38, when Kashyapa Muni is speaking to Diti, and Kashyapa Muni said that due to the contamination of your mind, due to the Muhurat dosha, due to the negligence of my direction, and due to the negligence of Lord Shiva, everything has become inauspicious. Or Kashyapa Muni is telling Diti that if we contaminate our mind with Kam, Krodh, Lobh, so he says, now everything was inauspicious, because of, So he is giving 4 things, that if there 4 things are there, then the things will be inauspicious. So one of the things he mentioned, the contamination of mind. Like Diti's mind was contaminated with the lusty desire. And the second, Muhurat dosha, that the time was inauspicious for the progeny. It was the Sandhya time, which is a prayer time, which is the time when the ghost wanders around. And the third inauspicious thing was, Diti did not listen to her husband. That was also inauspicious. And 4th thing, Diti offended even Lord Shiva also, because Kashyapa Muni had told Diti about Lord Shiva, but she did not listen to it. So what does it mean? That if our mind is contaminated by lust, anger, greed, it means something inauspicious is going to happen. If we act against the time, place, circumstances, means something inauspicious is going to happen. We neglect the order of superiors, like here the example is wife is neglecting the order of husband. Similarly, disciple neglects the order of spiritual master. It means something inauspicious is going to happen. If we neglect the exalted devotees like Lord Shiva or the demigod, that is a sign that something inauspicious will happen. The third thing we learn from this pastime is that when the Jaya and Vijaya were cursed by the 4 Kumaras, they did not object to the curse. Rather, they begged 4 Kumaras that please, you give us just one thing, that as we fall down to the lower species of life, we should continue to remember the Lord. So, when the Jaya and Vijaya were cursed, after hearing the curse, they did not object to it. Rather, they prayed only for one thing, that as we fall down to the lower species of life, we should continue to remember the Lord. And here one thing we have to remember, that in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Kṛṣṇa says, Patanti narke shuchau. This is one thing, and some other place also Kṛṣṇa said, the people who are a demonic mentality, I place them in the lower and lower species of life, and with that they are not able to remember me. So that this is the risk of going to the lower species of life, that we tend to forget Kṛṣṇa. And here the Jaya and Vijaya were ready to go to any species of life, even the lowest species of life, provided they should continue to have the remembrance of the Lord. And later on, even the Lord also, yes, thank you Prabhu, yeah, this is the version, yeah, for the lowest among men, I perpetually cast down. Yes, thank you so much Prabhu, yeah. So the point we have to learn is that wherever we are, that is not important. What is more important? To have the remembrance of the Lord. It may be even the worst and the worst of the species, or it may be the worst of the conditions of our life. And the fourth thing we learn from these pastimes is that we are responsible for the acts which are committed by the people who are dependent on us. In this pastime we see that Lord Kṛṣṇa says that I am responsible for the actions of Jaya and Vijaya because they are my servants. So their offense is as if the offense has been committed by me. So similarly, we should remember that if the people who are dependent on us, they commit some offense, then we are also responsible for those actions to some extent. And we have very simple thing, even in our office, we have some people who work for us. So if they do some mistake, before they are held accountable, we are held accountable. We have to go and answer to our boss, why did it happen? Similarly, if our wife, our children, or the spiritual master disciple, they commit the offense, then they are held accountable as per the law of Kṛṣṇa. And the flip side is that, now one side I said, that there are people who are dependent on us, who are subservient to us, they commit an offense. Now the flip side, other side is that we are also the servant of somebody. We are also the disciples of someone. So if we commit any wrong act, for example, if we commit any wrong action, then that reflects on people who are superior to us. That's a reflection on our father and mother. That's a reflection on the spiritual master. That's a reflection on our family also. So that's why it is important that we have to be careful in our actions. And if we commit any mistake, then we should be repentant also. If we sincerely repent, then the reactions get nullified and then good result will come out. I told you the verse where Kashyapa Muni is telling Diti, now everything inauspicious will happen. But just after a few verses, Kashyapa Muni is telling Diti, since you lamented very seriously, one thing. Second, since you had a mood of atonement, since you deliberated on the matter, since you had a faith in Supreme Personality of Godhead, since you had a respect for the Lord, and since you have the respect for me, what will be the result? The result will be that the grandson will be the topmost devotee of the Lord. And we know that Prahlad Maharaja, was the one of the 12 Mahajans and became the greatest devotee of the Lord. One of the greatest devotee of the Lord. So the point is that our actions has an impact on the people who are superior to us and who are junior to us. And we should always be mindful of this fact. And if we commit any mistake, then as Diti did, right? She lamented in a serious mood. She wanted to atone for it. She deliberated on the matter and immediately she approached her husband. And she had a faith in the Kṛṣṇa and in her husband also, right? And then all these things are the signs of auspiciousness. Or what I should say, or what we should understand, that if we lament seriously, that means something auspicious is going to happen. If we want to atone seriously, something auspicious will happen. If we deliberate on our mistake, something auspicious will happen. If we have the faith in Kṛṣṇa, something auspicious will happen. If we have the adoration for the Lord, glorification of the Lord, something auspicious will happen. If we have the respect for the elders, means something auspicious is going to happen. That's how we should understand. And then the fifth thing, we should learn that Jaya and Vijaya were cursed because they prevented 4 Kumaras to see the Lord. So the point is that if someone was cursed because, or if Jaya and Vijaya were cursed because they prevented 4 Kumaras to see the Lord. So it also means that if we help someone to see the Lord, we will get immense blessings. In case of Jaya Vijaya, the curse was very significant curse. That 3 times, 3 species, they to become the demons. So it was a very big curse. Similarly, if we help someone to see the Lord, to see the spiritual master, to see the devotees, then the benefit is also immense. The 6th thing we learn is that the Lord is very sad when He sees that someone is leaving His service and the Lord tries to bring the person back to His service as soon as is possible. In the same pastime, it is given in this couple of verses. See, these verses are very beautiful. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time, otherwise we could have gone to each and every verse and seen what is written there. But in these 2 verses, it is given that when Sanat Kumaras cursed the Jaya Vijaya, the Lord is begging those Sanat Kumaras. He is not begging to retract the curse. Lord is begging that I beg you one thing, that let these 2 servants be returned to my presence as soon as possible. And after 4 Kumaras disappeared from the scene, the Lord approaches Jaya Vijaya. And instead of scolding Jaya and Vijaya, Lord is telling that do not fear, Ma Vaishnav, do not fear. And Lord is telling them that Astushma, that all glories to you, let all auspicious things happen to you. So, that's the nature of the Lord. If you want to see the kindness of the Lord, we cannot understand how much kind the Lord is. He begged the forgiveness from 4 Kumaras. He said to those 4 Kumaras that these offenses are the offenses committed by me. He is begging those Kumaras for his servants so that they can come back to his service. And instead of scolding his servants, he is blessing them that do not fear. And rather, he is saying that all glories to you. Another interesting thing to learn from this pastime, we should understand that if we leave the service of the Lord, then the Lord is feeling very sad, right? Lord also has the emotions. And whenever we see Guru Sadhu Shastra around us, we should remember that that's an attempt of the Lord to bring us back to His service. And the seventh thing we learn from this pastime is that Lord tolerated the blasphemy, His blasphemy. Why? Just to protect His devotees. When Hiraṇyākṣa was blaspheming the Lord, he was using the word that, "Oh amphibious feast, oh amphibious beast." The Lord continued to tolerate because that time the Bhūmi-devī was in his hand. He was holding the Bhūmi-devī, who has taken his shelter. And she was already in a fearful state. So the Lord did not want to increase the fear of Bhūmi-devī by having the fight while Bhūmi-devī was in his hand. So what he did? First he took the Bhūmi out of the water, gave her the shelter, then he went and took the fight with the Hiraṇyākṣa. So the way the Lord is tolerant in His behavior, similarly, we should also try to be tolerant in behavior, and we should learn it even from the Bhūmi-devī, who was being carried by the Lord. Right? The Lord was carrying Bhūmi-devī, and in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 11th canto, in the 7th chapter, I think verse number 36 something, the very first thing we can learn from Bhūmi-devī is that, Bhutei akrame manopi deva dhira deva vashanu gatehe. Even if being harassed by the people, the devotees of the Lord do not react. Why? Because they always think that people who are harassing me, they are deva. Bhutei akrame manopi dhiro deva vashanu gahi. That even if being harassed by other people, the devotees do not react. Why? Because they always think that people who are harassing me, deva vashanu gahi. They think that they are always under the control of deva, means they are always under the control of the three modes of material nature, and according to the modes they are reacting. And this thing is shown even by the Lord by His own example. He was carrying the earth in His hand, but He did not react because He knew that that's the nature of the demon. So we should also try to imbibe this thing in our life. And the eighth thing we learn is that Hiraṇyākṣa created the imbalance in the earth, and it fell into the ocean. It fell down from its position. So similarly, our mind is also like a Hiraṇyākṣa. In this instance, we see the earth was being exploited by both Hiraṇyākṣa and Hiraṇyākṣa. So our mind is also like Hiraṇyākṣa and Hiraṇyākṣa, who is always after the wealth and woman. So if we allow our mind to be exploited by lust, anger, greed, within no time it's going to fall from its position, purity or the Kṛṣṇa consciousness. And in case of Bhūmi-devī, she was so pure, the Lord Himself went to protect her. But in our case, we do not know when somebody will come to protect us. So we should always watch our consciousness, that is it becoming like a Hiraṇyākṣa or Hiraṇyākṣa. And the ninth lesson we learned that at the end, after playing with Hiraṇyākṣa, what did Lord do to kill Hiraṇyākṣa? He just touched his hoof near the roof of the ear of the Hiraṇyākṣa, and Hiraṇyākṣa, the body started dismantling. And Prabhupada is writing one line in the purport. It's so beautiful. In this purport, Prabhupada says that one signal is sufficient to destroy our attempts. Prabhupada says one signal is sufficient to destroy our attempts. And attempts means attempts to be successful in the material world or even in the our spiritual attempts also. So we should always remember the Lord is very powerful, right? Very powerful. Just by His touch, any wonder can happen. So we should always depend on the touch of the Lord, which can come at any point of time. And the 10th thing we learn, that as long as we are in the hand of Kṛṣṇa, we are always safe. Many times we say that leave it in the hand of Kṛṣṇa. We say everything is in the hand of Kṛṣṇa. But we don't understand what do we mean when we say everything is in the hand of Kṛṣṇa, leave it in the hand of Kṛṣṇa. But when we remember the beautiful form of the Lord, where He was carrying earth, Bhūmi-devī in His hand, then the Bhūmi-devī was completely protected. Although she was in the hand of a Lord, but still she had to experience the disturbances. And what does that mean? That even if we are under the protection of Kṛṣṇa, even if we have taken the 100% shelter of Kṛṣṇa, does not mean the disturbances will not be around us. At some point, Hiraṇyākṣa appeared to be so powerful because he was using all the abusive words. He was scolding the Lord. He was as fearful as the Lord, or not as fearful, he looked more fearful than the Lord's form. So Bhūmi-devī was all frightened. Although she was fearful, but she did not escape from the Lord. She did not think of leaving the Lord. She chose to stay in the hand of the Lord. And the result was that the Lord did not abandon her. Rather, the Lord tolerated all the blasphemy, all the abusive words, just for the protection of His pure devotee, Bhūmi-devī. So, with these words, I would like to give the varam to the katha, and I would like to thank all the devotees for hearing the katha patiently. Now, at the end of the katha, if any devotee has got any questions or comments, or any devotee would like to recall any one thing from the katha, they are welcome. Thank you so much, Prabhu and Mataji. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. Śrīla Gurudev ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavata pranams. Suchitra here.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavata pranam, Mataji.
Prabhuji, I have a small doubt. In the Rakta Varāha, when Avatar only said that the earth was put under the water by Hiraṇyākṣa.
No, so, not by Hiraṇyākṣa. He created the imbalance, See, all these planets, they are floating in a spherical order, right?
Okay.
So the planets, though all those planets are balanced, like many times we call ecological balance, right? So similarly, the earth was given an amount of gold, right? Amount of riches. So when those riches were exploited, taken away from the earth and used for the sense gratification, then the earth lost its balance, and then it fell into the ocean. And another place it is said that earth wanted to protect herself. So she dived into the ocean. It's not that Hiranyakashipu or Hiraṇyākṣa took the earth into the ocean, no. Rather, Hiraṇyākṣa was wondering, when he saw the earth in the hand of the Lord. And he said, okay, this earth belongs to me. How did you get it?
Okay. Yeah. So they were living in another planetary system, Prabhu, basically, not on the earthly. Hiraṇyākṣa.
Yeah, they were on, there are 14 planetary systems, and these pastimes happened in different kalpas, right? And as I said, that when the partial dissolution happens, the 3 planets remain intact, and other planets will get dissolved in the water. But finding out exact chronology is very difficult. But if you look at the different purports which I have written, the different verse reference, you can understand, that these pastimes happened in different kalpas, right? In one kalpa, it's clear, the Lord simply lifted the earth from the water of devastation. Another pastime also, Lord lifted the earth from Garbhodaka Ocean, but it was not due to the devastation time, right? It was due to another reason. And the second form, he lifted the earth and killed the Hiraṇyākṣa also. Right, Mataji? Yes.
Okay, from the second form, actually, he came from the waters, you said, Prabhu?
Yeah, second.
So, okay, he appeared from the waters,
yes,
from the
right.
Garbhodaka Ocean.
Right. Rakta Varāha.
Okay.
Śrī Varāha appeared from the nostril. Right?
Okay, Prabhu.
So there are verses.
Usually in the Dashavatar stories, I think a mix of both is said.
Yes.
Basically, the Lord appears from the nose and then he grew big and then he died.
Yes. Yeah, right, Mataji. So if you read the Srimad Bhagavatam 3rd Canto, 13th chapter, there also you will see that it is a mixed, But if you read the purport, it is given the 3:13:25, 31, 3:13:30, 3:14:2, these verses number I have written, right? From there we can understand, right? So in Dashavatara, the Avatara what we worship is the Rakta Varāha, Rakta Varāha, who protected Bhūmi-devī and killed Hiraṇyākṣa. Okay, Mata.
And last question, Prabhu, sorry. And what happened to the living entities that time on the Earth planet?
The living entities on the Earth, I think the living entities also were, they got and drowned into the ocean, right? But that's what would have happened. But I did not read anything about it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you for the wonderful class, as always.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Thank you to hear you, Mataji, to see you. Thank you so much for attending. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Wonderful class. For last 2 hours we were all into the past. As we are seeing the past time, not hearing and seeing the past time with full pleasure. Prabhuji, here continuation with Suchita Mataji, that I just wanted to know that Lord is so merciful that first he took out the Mother Earth and placed on the surface of the ocean, and then he fought, right?
Yeah.
So still Bhūmi-devī was fearful during the fight because she was already protected and she was on the surface of the
once she was out, then she was not the fearful. And the Srimad Bhagavatam, nowhere it is mentioned the situation of Bhūmi-devī after she was placed on the surface of the ocean. What is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that the Lord placed the Bhūmi-devī on the surface of the ocean, then he started fighting. Right?
Yeah.
But it is given clearly that while Lord was holding the Bhūmi-devī on his hand, and Hiraṇyākṣa was scolding, the Bhūmi-devī was very fearful, and that's why the Lord tolerated it.
So does it shows that one hand Lord is holding Bhūmi-devī and the other hand he is fighting, right?
No. He was not fighting. He was simply tolerating. He was holding the earth in the hand and hearing it. Because if he had started fighting while the Bhūmi-devī is in the hand, then Bhūmi-devī would have been more fearful, right? आपने मूवीज में देखा है ना कभी-कभी कि आपने मूवीज में हीरो हीरोइन होते हैं साथ में, राइट? और कोई विलन अटैक करते हैं तो हीरो क्या करेगा? पहले हीरोइन को प्रोटेक्ट करेगा, राइट? उसके बाद में फाइटिंग करेगा वो. ऐसा देखा होगा ना आपने मूवी में.
और आपने भी बताया कि even one signal is sufficient to destroy others and success is meteor speechless. तो कृष्णा का एक टच ही काफी है जो इनको हिरण्याक्ष को मारने के लिए एक टच ही काफी है. So we can know that as long as we are in the hand of Krishna, we are safe and everything is in the hand of Krishna. But when we remember the beautiful form of Lord Varāha, Bhūmi-devī was in the hand of Lord. So Lord did not abandon Bhūmi-devī, rather tolerated all the abusive words of Hiraṇyākṣa to protect Bhūmi-devī.
So the one touch, what Prabhupada wanted to say, that just one touch is enough. One touch was enough to smash Hiraṇyākṣa's big plans.
Yes.
So similarly, Krishna's one signal is sufficient to destroy our attempts. Prabhupada is not saying Krishna's touch. Prabhupada is saying Krishna's signal. One signal. And signal is not necessarily the touch. The signal can be even to the material nature. Krishna has got so many agents. Kṛṣṇa can give a signal to one of his agents, right? And just one signal is enough to destroy all our plans. Okay?
Wonderful, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Wonderful explanation. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Nanda Pranam to Prabhuji. Thank you very much for the class. I'm just relishing the pastimes on Brahma. Actually, when the Hiraṇyākṣa started fighting with Lord, after having kept Bhūmi-devī on the surface of earth, when he was fighting, Brahma is requesting, Brahma was fearful, please kill him as early as possible, because this guy is very dangerous, and also, and the time also becoming, the evening is coming fast and all that. And that was very, very nice, enriching. And then, of course, Kṛṣṇa is here. Nothing is impossible for Kṛṣṇa. Here, the greatest fun is, he was fighting for Lord, and Lord is with the maces. Both are fighting together. Finally, when Sudarshan Chakra leaves and the Sudarshan Chakra removes all his magical powers. Now, finally, after all weapons are over, Kṛṣṇa just slapping him and killing him. This is very nice. After all weapons are over, actually weapon is not required. He was just passing the time. He was enjoying a fight with this demon. And finally, he knows he can kill him anyway. So finally he slaps him and that guy killed. That demon is killed. So it is so nice. And thank you. And you, as usual, Prabhuji, you always filter all the lessons from the whole episode. It is not just one chapter, I think. You have prepared so many chapters together, and he gave us a cream for our lifetime lessons. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So, Prabhu, the Lord is so merciful that He fulfills everyone's desire. So here, why Lord continue to fight with Hiraṇyākṣa? Because Hiraṇyākṣa has a fighting spirit. All the time fighting. So Kṛṣṇa said, okay, you have the desire, so I will fulfill your desire, right?
Correct.
Right? Like Sita Mata had the desire to have the gold, and she was after, the deer, golden deer. So Lord Rama said, okay, you want to have the gold? Okay, you go and stay in the Son Nagri, Lankapuri, right? So we should remember, our all desires are recorded in Krishna's book.
And also I see one more point I noted, Prabhuji, in these chapters, when Lord Boar is coming from the nostril of Lord Brahma for killing uplifting Mother Earth and for killing Hiraṇyākṣa, he is coming down and he is shaking his, and all sages and started praying to Lord Kṛṣṇa. So boar incarnation, Kṛṣṇa is looking at them when he's coming down. It's so nice. He watches, which means when you are praying, we think that no, Kṛṣṇa is not hearing, Kṛṣṇa is not looking. It is not that actually. We can understand this point that whenever we are praying to Kṛṣṇa, whenever we are praying, worshipping, Kṛṣṇa is definitely attentive to our prayer. He is looking at us. Here we see in the same chapter it says he looks at them and then he comes down immediately in the great like a mountain. He comes down and he breaks the ocean. So this is also very nice to know.
And Prabhu, why did Kṛṣṇa look at them? Kṛṣṇa looks at the people who are praying to get rid of them, to make them fearless.
Okay.
Yeah? Correct, Prabhu? That's the reason. So otherwise they were all fearful. When they saw the form of the Lord, form of the Hiraṇyākṣa, they knew the power of Hiraṇyākṣa, right? And again, another thing, somehow in the core of the heart of the demigods, there is a desire for the sense gratification, right? They had all lost their residences. They were bereft of their houses. They wanted their houses back,
Yes.
So Kṛṣṇa was assuring them the protection.
Correct.
Right?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Varāha ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, very beautiful class. Whenever you tell the katha, it looks like actually we are visualizing the whole story. It's that beautiful. Prabhuji, I have two questions. One is when
Mataji,
the Kumaras give the
don't ask me difficult questions, okay? Your questions are always difficult. So ask me simple questions, okay? You have the time to simplify the questions.
Prabhuji, you are knowledgeable. That's why I'm asking to you now.
Go ahead, Mataji.
Prabhuji, when the four Kumaras give curse, it's actually was the Lord's instruction, that nobody should come and disturb him. And so they were doing their duties, the Jaya Vijayas.
Yeah, they were doing duties, Mataji, but they were already destined to have this curse. Because if you read the pastime, The Lord is telling Jai Vijaya, because Jai Vijaya is telling the Lord, my Lord, why did it happen to us, right? हम लोग बोलते हैं ना हमारे साथ ऐसा क्यों हुआ है ना, right? तो उस समय भगवान बोलते हैं कि once Lakshmi Devi, my consort, wanted to come and see me, and you stopped them, you stopped my consort, without realizing that she has all the right to come and see me at any time. So that time Lakshmi Devi had cursed these two Jai Vijaya, that you will have to go down and take the birth in the lower species of life. So they were carrying that curse, and that curse triggered this incident. And the Lord himself is telling Jai Vijaya that whatever happened, it was my desire. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, it was Lord's desire, because of which Jai and Vijaya committed the offense against these four Kumaras. Otherwise, in the spiritual world, there is no such thing, disharmony or whatever happened between Jai Vijaya and Sanat Kumara. So it's given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Mataji.
Okay. And Prabhuji, regarding that Lord Shiva you told, or regarding Lord Kashyap, I didn't quite understand that. Can you just explain that once more?
What
is the context when Lord Kashyap said it's Lord Shiva's time? I didn't understand that. Can you just explain that portion?
So, Diti wanted to have the association with the husband in the evening time, which is the time for the prayer. First of all, Gayatri time was there. It's a Sandhya time for Kashyapa Muni. And the second, it's a time when the ghostly spirits wander around him.
Okay.
And Kashyapa Muni was trying to tell Diti that this is the time when the ghostly spirits wander around in the universe, and the ghostly spirits are controlled by Shiva, right? And you may say that, and Kashyapa Muni is telling Diti that you may say that I am the relative of Lord Shiva, because Diti and Sati, they were sisters, right?
Yeah.
So Kashyapa Muni is saying that you may think that okay, Shiva is my relative, my brother-in-law, but still he is very powerful. He is worshipable by everybody. So if you have my association, you will be committing an offense to the Lord Shiva as a demigod, as a very powerful personality. Don't just think that he is your brother-in-law. Right? That's the context.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
And that's why later on, she was feeling afraid of Lord Shiva, and she is praying to her husband to seek protection from Lord Shiva. Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Well understood. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Very nice class, Prabhu. A lot of 10 points you have given to memorize, to rekindle our mind on Varāha. That's really nice. The one point which I liked actually is that we are also responsible, and the dependents, whatever the faults they do, we are also responsible for it. That's a very nice point which you had highlighted.
Yeah, but Prabhu, we should remember the flip side also, right? All the time we take only this point, but the flip side is that our superiors also get infected by our actions, right? So whatever actions we do, that is a reflection on the father, mother, family, spiritual master, Kṛṣṇa, right? When Prabhupada was in the West, people got attracted to him. Why? Because of his behavior. Because Prabhupada demonstrated that this is the behavior of a Krishna's devotee. I am the devotee of Kṛṣṇa and see my behavior. Prabhupada didn't want to show it as a show off. But people started thinking that this person is so wonderful, such a great behavior, and he is a devotee of Kṛṣṇa. So that means Kṛṣṇa must be great, right? That's how we should think. Okay, Prabhu.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay.